Mili from Social Songbird, and today I'm going to be interviewing Przemek from Contentyze. Hello, Przemek. How are you today?
Hello, Mili. I'm really nice. It's really, well, the weather is bad right now. I'm currently in Warsaw, but generally speaking, I'm definitely fine.
Excellent. So where are you at the moment?
I'm in Warsaw in Poland, where I came from originally, but usually I live between London and Warsaw.
Excellent. So I'm very curious about you as an entrepreneur. I've been reading the information that was sent to me and a bit of research. And you seem to do quite a bit about everything, but I want to know how you became an entrepreneur and how did you decide to, jump and do this?
Yeah, sure. So my background is in pure mathematics. I actually did a PhD in pure mathematics in Paris. And then I went to Oxford to become a research fellow, where I was like a research fellow at Oxford for 2 years, basically doing more research and teaching students. And around that time, I decided that actually I don't want to spend my whole life in academia, and I want to have more impact on the world, and I want to do something which will have much more impact and would be much more fast-paced than mathematics, because the cycles of feedback in mathematics or in general in any science, are quite slow. You usually publish the paper, then you wait for the feedback, and the whole process, it can take years even for a single paper. So I wanted to quit academia and go to business, and I wanted to go from mathematics to computer science, because I always was programming just a little bit, but then machine learning, or generally artificial intelligence, is even closer to mathematics than like general computer science. So that wasn't like really a hard turn going from pure mathematics to machine learning. It was harder to actually go from academia to business. And in the beginning, that was like really hard to navigate, but thanks to many friends, which basically helped me get into the consulting. So I started consulting for like both startups and larger companies, doing that on like purely hour per hour basis, like a smaller deals to help me start it. So that's how I started into the business and into becoming an entrepreneur, because I knew that I didn't want ever to work for a company, because I just couldn't sacrifice my freedom, especially after being in academia for so long. So I couldn't just, I never looked for a job. Let's put it that way.
That's a very good place to be. I guess coming from Oxford, that's kind of like the place to go. Yep. And you sound like you are like 80 years old. It sounds like you've done so much. You were researching, then you were trying to do papers, then you got into consultancy. It's amazing how much you've done in a short time.
Yeah, it was pretty intense at times. And I was like, at one point I was juggling so many different jobs. Like it was really, really hard. But then I think like I'm much more peaceful right now and at home, because I've chosen just to do Contentyze, and basically that's taking me like 95% of my time. I do like small things for myself, like during the weekends, or just for fun. But usually I spend most of my time building Contentyze. That's the current company I'm building. So basically, after I went into consulting and started doing those deals, I knew quickly that I still want to even work more for myself, because even though, like I was running my own company, then it's not really, until you build your own product, it's really hard to do what you want, because you always have a client who's demanding something or requesting an additional feature or something like that. And especially if you selling your time to others, then basically you don't have full control over what you're doing. So I wanted to go from that to actually building products, and that's how I went from consulting to actually creating my first startup with a friend. So the whole process was super, super quick. Actually, I quit academia and I went into business, and the consulting part was just like 1 year in total.
Okay. Excellent. So tell us a bit more about Contentyze. So what is it about?
So Contentyze is a text editor, basically. So what I wanted to do is I started Contentyze because I wanted it to help me write in the first place. So I used to write quite a lot, and I have like hundreds of articles on Medium. I have a couple of books written, and I wanted to have a tool that would actually help me write much faster, to be more effective. So I started experimenting with a couple of algorithms like GPT-2, which was at the time, you have GPT-3 right now. And basically, starting from there, I decided that actually I can make that into the platform and maybe make that platform into something that can help others as well. So Contentyze right now is mostly for copywriters, marketers, bloggers who constantly need to have new content. And basically they need an inspiration, they need some help coming from AI. So you have different functions, like you just write a little bit of text and then you click on generate and the machine learning algorithm will give you more text in the same vein. Or you can rephrase or summarize existing content.
So how does it actually work? For example, I want to write an article about social media and society. So how does it work? I just put certain phrases or keywords, and where does it look for the information? So I'm actually, now that you explain a bit more what it does, because I was a bit confused about what it actually does, I'm really interested. I mean, this is something I write tons of articles. I have a team writing articles. So how does it do? Where does it get the content from? Is it copyrighted? You know, how is it about copywriting? And how does the AI helps you?
Yeah, sure. So the way it works is actually a little bit different because it's not like you're giving it keywords. You're giving the full sentences or full paragraphs and tell it to write like the continuation of that. So that can be a title, like generally you would put something like social media and society or something like that, and maybe put like a longer sentence for it to complete, and then you get the completion out of that. And the way it works is that it has the internal knowledge. So it's not working very well if you are super specific about what you want to write about. So for example, you won't be able to write about like deep mathematics or anything like really sophisticated, but social media are definitely fine. The thing is, those kind of language models that we use are basically trained on millions and millions of articles. So they have seen this content somewhere, and then it's not really about the compilation, it's about probability, because they're trying to come up with the next word that can be useful in your context. And word by word, they're constructing the whole sentences and then the whole paragraphs. So in the end, you get the new paragraph out of the initial sentence you put into that.
Okay. And then hundreds and hundreds of articles. I guess it's the artificial intelligence part of it is the one that is taken from, where does it take it from? From the internet?
You mean the text?
You say it has hundreds and hundreds of articles to look for.
Oh, yeah. So actually, it was trained on those millions of articles, from the internet. But that was that was the process done before. It's not taking that live.
Okay.
So once you try to query the artificial intelligence, so like you put a one sentence, and basically what's happening is that the language model is already there, and it's just trying to give you the next sentence based on the probability that it's a good continuation, but it doesn't check up database. Those texts are not copied from anywhere. So we check those texts for like plagiarism, and we never found a text that was plagiarized this way, because that's like super important.
Excellent. It's basically, I mean, before, when I didn't have as much knowledge as I have now, I used to read, for example, I will read about social media and society. I will read 5 articles, and then out of everything I learned, I'll write 1 article. So it's kind of like something like that. What artificial intelligence is doing, just for everybody to understand that is listening to this podcast.
Yep.
Excellent. So you say that your target market, basically, the people that can benefit of it is basically copywriters, marketeers. And do you think this could be good for, I mean, you said it could be good for blogs. what about social media posts?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the features we have is summarizing content. So for example, you can provide the link to the article directly and it will get summarized like in one sentence. So actually that kind of mechanism is perfect because you can just use those summarizations as the kind of content you post on social media. So, like we do that quite a lot actually on our social media, and it seems to work really fine because we're basically finding interesting articles about like technology, marketing, and so on, and we summarize that using Contentyze, and then we have ready to use content for social media.
Excellent. And how is it available? Is it a tool online?
Yeah, it's entirely online. You can go to contentyze.com first of all, and there's like explanation, but we're testing right now a beta version, so it's entirely free. You don't have to even register. The address for that is gpt.contentyze.com. You just go in and that's it. And you can start using that right away for free. We just want to get as much feedback as possible.
Excellent. That sounds really, really good. So, I mean, most of our listeners are either entrepreneurs, marketeers, marketing managers. So I think this is going to be really useful for them. And so tell us a bit about the process as an entrepreneur. What would you say are the most challenging parts of being an entrepreneur until now for you?
Well, there are many, I think, difficult parts. So basically, I started Contentyze totally by myself, bootstrapping everything, putting my own capital to hire people and freelancers and so on. Then that started in January 2020, and then only in like November last year, I got one VC fund on board with like a small check to help me grow the team. So right now I hired like a couple of people. So each of those phases is challenging. So we're looking right now for the next round of capital, and that's like new challenges as well. So I think like there are different stages that I'm coming through, which is the bootstrapping stage, like the ideation, building MVP, then the first seed capital, and then building on top of that and growing the company. And each of those stages has totally different problems, like from how to hire to how to build the best product possible to how to market and so on.
Do you feel sometimes this is just to be able to show the people that this is part of being an entrepreneur? Do you feel sometimes like a bit worried about what if it doesn't work? What if this is not going to go where I feel it's going to go? Do you have that moment?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's natural that it's like a roller coaster in a sense. There's ups and downs, especially, well, if it's going well, it's you're feeling much better than usual, and if it's going bad, then you're feeling just worse. I think it's natural. I mean, I like this kind of adrenaline, and that's why I always wanted to become an entrepreneur in this sense. But it's also challenging at the same time because you don't get the stability. There are like more problems, and I like solving problems. That I think that's the main task of an entrepreneur. You have problems every week, and you're trying to overcome those. And if you overcome those, then there are new challenges ahead, and so on.
Excellent. Yeah, I've seen some diagrams of the life of an entrepreneur, and it goes up and down and up and down, and that's what makes it so much fun.
Yeah, that's true. And hopefully it's like up and down, but then, like the ups are higher and higher, and you just
every time it goes higher.
Yep.
So what is the future of Contentyze? What do you think about? What's your vision?
So in the end, I want to be like Canva for writing. I really like this comparison. So I love Canva when it comes to like creating presentations. I think it's a wonderful tool, and I want to create something which is working like that, but for text. So I want to have a tool that will help anyone write just a good text. So I want to like raise the quality of an average text, because when it comes to graphical design, you don't have to be a designer to start using Canva, and you'll get like really good presentations. And on the other hand, when it comes to text, if you can't write, then your text will be awful and not readable at all. And I would like to raise the bar so that anyone can write a decent text, maybe not the best one, but actually I think like AI can help anyone to actually start writing proper text. And for that, Contentyze has to be like a great text editor together with those many functionalities that will lead you by your hand, going from the idea step to the end draft.
And are you planning to do maybe something in other languages?
Yeah, so the good thing about like using those language models like GPT-2, GPT-3 is that they have built-in knowledge of different languages because they scrape they learned through reading all those articles online, and there are articles, of course, in many different languages. So English is the primary language, but actually Spanish, German, and a couple other languages are working as well.
Oh, already are working.
Already are, yeah, they are already working.
Oh.
I mean, we don't focus on them because like it would take our focus away, but there are a couple of people already testing these languages, and it seems like they are happy with the results.
Oh, amazing. Okay, excellent. So what would you give as a guidance, some words for people that are not entrepreneur yet? Maybe they are like you, working in a university after studying, and they do want to have their own thing, but they think, am I the right person, or is this as difficult as it looks? Or, the ones that are having the doubt, which I'm sure you had. I had it when I quit my job to be an entrepreneur. And what would you say to them?
Start building. I mean, that's like so I think like the hardest thing is for anyone is to really start building either the product or like trying to advertise your services, even without the formal registration of the company, because you can always register the company pretty fast anywhere. And I think the hardest thing is just having your first client paying for something. And if you have that, then you can go through all the formal steps.
Excellent.
So yeah, just building, like building things is the best thing.
Excellent. That sounds really good. So would you mind if we have an interview again, maybe in 6 months or a bit longer, to have an update on how is it going?
No, that'd be great. That'd be great. I'm happy to do that.
So you can give us some updates and new things, or
yep.
How it's going. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
This has really been helpful, I say, for most of our readers, because I'm sure readers, I say, because we're a blog, but listeners too, because definitely I will say most of them do a lot of writing.
That's great. Yeah.
So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.